Good day everyone, I am Michelle Farzas. I will be discussing about the 16 personality factor test. So this topic will focus on the interpretation of the test result using the 16 personality factor. So the 16 personality factor has a global factor. So it includes the extraversion, independence, tough-mindedness, self-control, and the anxiety level of the individual who will take this test. First, we will discuss the extraversion as part of the global factor of the 16 personality factor. So, the extraversion focus on the social orientation, the desires of the individual to be with the other people, or the level on how they want to be noticed. So also it involves the energy invested in initiating and maintaining social relationship. So this global factor, it has a contributing primary factor. So which are the warmth, liveliness, the social boldness, the privateness, and the self-reliance of the individual. These primary factors are shown in some of the questions found in the overall test questionnaires of the 16 PF exam. The next one is on about independence. So it shows the how an individual assumes when interacting with others. It involves the extent to which they are likely to influence or be influenced by the views of other people. So, its contributing primary factors are the dominance, the social boldness, vigilance, and openness to change. So, by the way, these primary factors are the sub-factors of the global factor independence. And so with the other global factors. So these primary factors shows how the level of each primary factors. The third one is the tough-mindedness. So it is a way of a person process information. Then it is the extent to which they will solve problems at an objective cognitive level or by using subjective or personal consideration. So its primary factors are warmth, sensitivity, abstractedness, openness to change. So we can see or we can notice that there are contributing factors that also can be found in the other global factors, like the open-mindedness. So while in the independence, so it also showing or trying to measure the openness to change, the level of the openness to change. or they are able, how they or how an individual able to adjust themselves in some situation. Okay, the fourth one is on self-control. So it is the response to environmental controls on behavior, internal, or it can be an internal self-discipline. So it's contributing primary factors are the liveliness, rule consciousness, abstractedness, and the perfectionism. The last one, or the fifth global factor under the 16PF exam, is the anxiety. So anxiety, it is the emotional adjustment. So the types of emotions expressed and the intensity of this. So how or what degree of anxiety, or how we interact or how we react to the situation, especially some situations that are not intended to happen. So you are not expected to happen that kind of situation. So maybe that is the time that your level of anxiety change. So how to measure this anxiety level? So by using the primary factors. So anxiety has emotional stability. Try to measure the level of the emotional stability of the test taker, the being vigilance, the level of the apprehension, and the level of tension. This topic will focus on the test interpretation using the 16PF exam. So this kind of test will measure how the characters of the individual and their attitude towards certain problems or certain situation. So this time we will try to interpret the result of one respondent, a female respondent. So we will try to interpret her result or her personality based on her result. Okay. So this time, we will first focus on the extraversion level of the respondent. So his overall extraversion level is 5. So the warmth level is 6. Liveliness is 5. Social boldness is 5. Privateness is 6. And the self-reliance is 6. So based on the result, so as the present time, Miss Female or the respondent describes herself as neither more nor less introvert person than the others or than the other respondent who took this kind of exam. In some situation, she can be around with others and maintains social relationship. So she characterizes close and cooperative relationship with the others. Hence, in some situations, she prefers to have time with herself. So Miss likely to feel at ease in some social situation but less comfortable in others, while not always seeking to be the center of attention, and will not generally appear timid or shy. This individual tends to disclose more personal details to some people than to others in different situations. Also, prefer to make decisions for themselves. However, can manage to involve others in situation required. So as an overall result in the extraversion, extraversion, it is the way how we interact with the other people. It can be introvert or extrovert. So she have a 5 level of extraversion. The next one is the anxiety level of the respondent. So this is the level, maybe in a situation, how he reacts to a situation, especially a situation that is not intended to happen or she didn't expected to happen. So she has a level of 4. Okay, so the anxiety level of the respondent is 4. So she has a low anxiety level. So the emotional stability is 6, the vigilance is 5, apprehension is 4, tension is 3. So as based on the result of the respondent, so generally, Miss Female shows more nor less anxious than most people. She can manage her emotions and able to adapt to changes that may come. She tends to examine the motives of others behind their actions. She tries to observe the environment before interacting. She usually unworried or calm, although in some situations the feeling of self-doubt may occur. She is more relaxed in most situations, but she tries to act calm in dealing the situation. So, based on the observation of the respondent, so I could say that example, the part that she tries to examine the motives of the others behind their action. So maybe it cause of the experiences that she experienced in the past. Then third one is the tough-mindedness. So her total level of the tough-mindedness is 8. So she can be a tough individual. So her warmth level is 6, sensitivity is 1, abstractedness is 4, and the openness to change is 6. So based on the result, Miss Female mostly possesses tough-mindedness and determined in doing something she wanted to do. This individual may sometimes adhere to their current way of thinking, while at other times they may be open to new approaches and experiences. When approaching problems, she tends to be attentive to others while retaining a sense of detachment when necessary. She shows more utilitarian focus and tends to be concerned with utility and objectivity. In some points, may exclude people's feelings from consideration if necessary. Tends to focus on their senses, observing data in realities before forming perceptions. Also, she is open to new opinions that necessary for change for a better results. The fourth one is the independence. So her level of independency is 5. So the dominance level is 5, the social boldness is 5, the vigilance is 5, the openness to change is 6. Based on the result, Miss Female adapts to the environment and accommodates others' wishes in some situation. Maybe especially her family, when it involves her family. So really, she give her best to able to help her loved ones. This person is more likely to conform to the situation than to be forceful or persuasive. In interpersonal relationships, Miss likes to express personal views and opinions on matters, while at the same time valuing input from others and being willing to defer if appropriate in some situations. She appears comfortable in most social situations. She tends to trust other people's intentions but may vary in some situations and tries to question them about their motives. She is open to change if necessary and remains to things that are useful and still needed. The fifth one is the level or her level of self-control. So based on the result, she got a 7/10. So she has a higher 7. So her liveliness level is 5. The rule consciousness is 6, abstractedness is 4, and the perfectionism is 7. So based on the result, shows here, Miss Female shows self-discipline and cautious about giving decision. She mostly thinks about needs than wants. She can adjust to the situation. In some point, she tends to be serious, however, can be lively in some casual situations. She tends to follow the rules in most situations and act according by the law. Miss gives attention to practical and rational aspects of situation. She shows more concerned about precision and tends to follow what needs to be done. However, there is a restriction in some point. That would be all my topic on 16 personality factor test interpretation. So the result was given by the one respondent of the 16 personality factor exam. So thank you, and I hope that you gain something from our discussion this day.